yes.
What happened that first half then?
Well,
on Exeter line.
Yeah, that's what I said on telly. I mean, I think that's as disappointing as I've been with our showing of the first half as I can ever remember in the Premiership. Really, not, you know. I'm a big one for, you know, I don't mind winning. I don't mind the wins and the losses so much. You know, that you deal with that in the Premiership. You know, that's going to happen. But you've always got to fire some shots. You know, you've got to give yourself a chance. And I said to the guys at half time, you know, if I was a supporter watching Exeter, I'd have said we looked afraid, really. And when I say that, I don't mean, obviously, don't mean afraid of the physical contest. I mean afraid to really put ourselves out there and go for it. And that's a little disappointing because we've built all our foundations on the fact that we'll get out there and we'll go after a team and we'll play. And I think, you know, there are obviously times when you can't carry the ball and you can't play and you're under pressure and you haven't got a lot of options and you have to kick. But there were times today when we played, all we had to do was carry the ball hard, set up one piece of play, and we'd have started playing some phase rugby. And you know, the second half showed how effective that can be, you know, even against Leicester. I mean, the reality is we're sitting here now disappointed not to have scored 2 or 3 tries in the second half with the pressure we had on their line. And we've won the second half 9-6 and we've made it a real contest, but you know, we've got what we deserved because of our first half showing. And you know, you can't run away from that. And I've just said to the guys, you know, if we've got to the stage where, you know, it doesn't feel nice and exciting to be playing Leicester, then we're getting something wrong. You know, I've never seen us not get out of the blocks and get stuck into a really big game like we did today.
Do you think, Rob, that if you haven't got a foundation, and the scrum's an issue anyway at the moment,
yes,
we know your line out went wrong, I mean, a lot in the first half.
Yeah. If
you haven't got that, does that sort of bleed a little bit of confidence from you as well, do you think?
Well, the problem is there's 2 ways of looking at it. Yeah, if your foundations are a little bit shaky, you're going to be under a bit of pressure. But at the same time, you know, my biggest issue would be why were there so many scrum? Why were there so many line-outs in pressure situations? And it's because we let them happen. You know, we let those kind of situations build and build and build. And you know, I've said, you know, like I say, at half time, Leicester must have thought they could have just walked from set piece to set piece and they were going to beat us. And that's how you don't want the game to get like that against Leicester. And it wasn't like that in the second half. But the issue we had in the second half was we got our opportunities in their 22, and when we didn't convert them, they turned into a scrum. And most of those scrums turned into penalties. So you know, we had to kind of keep rebuilding our pressure from inside our own half rather than, you know, doubling up pressure by, you know, at least making Leicester kick to us and then us be able to get a counter in. So, you know, that kind of broke up the game that we would have liked to have played. Obviously we've got some issues there we've got to try and address, and we've got to scrummage better. But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to criticise the lads for giving it a genuine go in the second half. And at least more of the scrum penalties in the first half were for some part of the scrum going forward instead of all of our scrum going backwards, which was a bit what was happening in the first half.
Your number 8, Rob? Your number 8, you must be well pleased with where he's...
Dave Ewis, yeah, playing really well for us. Big, strong guy, you know, young guy, you know, first real good time in the Premiership. You know, he's carrying well, he's defending well. You know, he's a little bit the rock of the pack that we're building things around at the moment. Well, as I say, which is obviously something we've got to address, because I would expect our bit more experienced players to be taking that role. But you know, listen, with what we've got, 8 points from 4 games, 50% win ratio. We've played Northampton, we've played Leicester. Geez, you know, you can't the bigger picture be too disappointed. You know, but ultimately I think, you know, second half showing, there was definitely a bonus point there for us today. But first half showing, we got exactly what we deserved.
Rob, there seems to be a view around that Southland's, Leicester and Northampton are the class acts in the Premiership, and are considerably better than the rest. Would you buy into that?
It's difficult, you know. I mean, looking at things, you would say they're the very strong sides, but then, you know, I would like to flip it and go, well, you know, how tight a game would today have been with a genuine performance from us in the first half? And that's my frustration. It's very difficult for me to sit here now and say to you how good were Leicester and how poor we were, because I know we were very poor in the first half, and we didn't keep any pressure on Leicester at all today.
Would it be fair to say you weren't quite precise, because when you actually managed to get good position and you're on their line, you look really threatening? Yeah,
well, and obviously, you know, those last passes go down and then the knock-ons happen, and we're sitting here ruining some great opportunities. But I mean, we played with energy, we played with endeavour. You know, we attacked our way to the try line. which, you know, as frustrating as it is, at least we attacked our way there and we had something about us. You know, I thought at one stage we were going to force a yellow card, which didn't come. For some momentum stopping moments, but then, you know, we kept at it, and, you know, like I said, I'll take a 9-6 win in the second half. You know, I'd like to 9-6 win in the first half as well. And, you know, I'd have been a very happy man. Okay.